The Second World War occurred during the years of 1939 and 1945. It is one of the most relevant wars in human history, and its consequences are still relevant in today's world. The Second World War had different nuances, fronts, and battles: the European Front, the Asian Pacific Front, the Holocaust. However, today we will compare and analyze two different movies: La Vita Bella and Captain America: The First Avenger.
This movie is created in the time of the Holocaust 1939 and shot in Arezzo, Italy. The film is based on a real-life story about a Jewish Italian man named Rubino Romeo Salmoni, whose story is narrated through a young boy named Guido Orefice, Giorgio Cantarini.
The movie received positive reviews. It was praised by the Italian press, and the critics also praised Roberto Benigni, who played the role character during the movie. His role was reviewed as charming, hilarious, and histrionic. The film also won several awards, such as Le Grand Prix à Cannes. The movie was nominated for 6 awards. From those, it won 3, which were Best Actor for Roberto Benigni, Best Foreign Language Movie, and Best Music for Nicola Piovani.
Consecuencias del Holocaust. Jewish people call the Holocaust the Shoah, which means destruction or catastrophe. It is estimated that 6 million Jewish people died. Also, the Nazis exterminated 500,000 Roma Gypsies, put 250,000 mentally ill and disabled people to death, sterilized deaf people, impersonated homosexuals, considered that Slavic people were subhuman, and intended to starve up to 30 million Soviet civilians and prisoners of war. But in some places, the Jewish people reacted in different ways. Some of them resisted, for example, in the Warsaw Uprising of 1943. Some of them fled to Germany and other countries such as Poland. Some put their kids on kinder sports trains which took them to Great Britain, where they were fostered. Some of them hid. In some places, the Jewish people accepted their fate and even cooperated to the Nazis. Some of them survived the concentration camps, often against the odds.
The Italian Holocaust is one of the central themes in the movie. 15,000 Italian Jews lived in Italy before the Second World War. In 1938, the fascist government of Benito Mussolini started with anti-Semitic policies. However, most of the Jews were integrated in Italian society and were protected by Italian authorities. However, in 1943, when Germany's army occupied North and Central Italy, 10,000 Jews were deported to concentration camps, where 7,600 were killed. The Italian Holocaust and the Holocaust in general caused the creation of Israel.
Steve Rogers, also known as Captain America, was accepted as a private ranking 1 in the Army and trained at Camp Lake in New Jersey under Colonel Chesterfield and Agent Piggy.
Captain America: The First Soldier is situated in Denmark. Captain America fights against the soldiers of Hydra, which are Nazis, and was designed as a patriotic super soldier who fought the Axis powers of World War II. Most of the critics of this movie were really positive, and most of them are about how they situated in this movie really well the four
Differences. Life is Beautiful addresses the Holocaust, especially directed to Italian Jews,
while in Captain America is about World War II and the fight between US and Hydra.
Movies criticize and antagonize Germany's Nazi regime. La Vita Bella criticized the fascists and Nazis, mocking at their regimes with symbolism and satire. In contrast, Captain America's perspective is of an American soldier that fights the German army, criticizing their inhumanity, and that even him that was a superhuman was more human and had more values and principles than the German soldiers. Both are based in World War II events.
In Life is Beautiful, the situation is a little bit more graphic and it shows how the Jewish were really suffering.
While In Captain America, we see in a bit more movie or entertaining way, which is not realistic, purely fictional, and portrays American soldiers as heroic and perfect.
Both movies present a hero that can sacrifice itself for a cause or protect something that it cares about.
The difference is that in La Vita Bella, Guido protects Giuseppe, his son, from the cruel reality of the concentration camp and from being killed in the camera gas. Guido sacrificed himself for his family.
And in the other hand, in Captain America, Steve Rogers sacrifices himself for protecting America from mass destruction because for him it represents the land of opportunities, democracy, and liberty.
These movies can look and be very different. Captain America is a pure action and mostly fictional movie that represents the American sentiment of patriotism and superiority, the American values, and the American dream. By the other hand, we have La Vita Bella. That's an intimate drama with a European perspective that talks about the fascist Italian society and the Holocaust for Jewish Italians. However, both movies have a central theme that is essential for the dramas, and it's the human sacrifice and hope. Both main characters, Steve Rogers and Guido, sacrifice themselves for a greater good. Steve Rogers sacrificed himself to save the USA and Guido for his family. The movies want to create a sensation of hope for the spectator. Sacrifice is always worth it, and the humanity can always thrive even in the worst case scenarios. It can be a Second World War and a Holocaust.
Questa è la mia storia. Questo è il sacrificio che mio padre ha fatto. Questo è stato il suo regalo per me.
Abbiamo vinto!
Sì, abbiamo vinto! Giosuè.